the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar radio program, broadcasting live from Hutchinson, Kansas. Call Jiggy right now, 267-22-JIGGY. Presenting Jiggy Jaguar.
Oh, it is the New Year's Eve edition of the world-famous Jigman Freud radio broadcast. Coast to coast and border to border on the tune-in, on the iTunes. On that radio loyalty, as they say. Today we have a big 3 hours. And I want to thank our buddies over there at... I need to turn on a camera, that would help. It's a television show as well, kids. I've positioned the microphone. We have a brand new positioning for the microphone. You can kind of see me now, and I look nice. I got my McGilla shirt on. I don't know what that means. I've got my McGilla shirt. I don't know what a McGilla shirt is, but I've got it on for you. Big 3 hours today on Radio Xenu. If you're listening to us live on Radio Xenu, which if you are, that's awesome. Thank you. We big 3 hours today, as I said. In this first hour, though, we have David Magnano, who's going to join us here in just a few moments. Also, Alexis Fox will join us. She is both Alex and a fox, by the way. She's an actual living fox. She's the first porn star to be a fox, as they say. I don't know who's saying it. Don't know why they're saying it. Jigman Freud. And I can do CGs. Look at this. I have my own CG. Looks pretty impressive there. Looks pretty impressive, as they say. We're not going to do any of that nonsense. Don't know what that means. Annabelle's feeling feisty, as they say. Okay, we are going to call Dr. David Magnano, the big star of stage and screen, Dr. Magnano. And we're going to get him in here on the old Skype-a-rooney. Oh, the Skype-a-rooney, as Johnny Kim would say. The fantastic Johnny Kim. David Magnano. David Mag, if you want to call him that. David Magnano to his friends, as they say. We're having all sorts of internet difficulties. I don't understand the internet difficulties. We're having them, though. David Magnano is who we're calling. David Magnano.
Hi, this is Dr. David Magnano, and thank you for calling. I'm unable to take your call right now.
Holy smokes.
But if you leave your name and number, I'll return this call as soon as I can.
Well, he's unable to take my call.
You can also reach me at the office. The number there is 727-408.
Come on, Dave. Let me have the voicemail.
Thank you.
Let me have the voicemail. Thank you.
The mailbox is full.
Oh, the mailbox is full. Of course the mailbox is full. Okay, the mailbox is full, as they say. As I was mentioning, we're having some internet issues. We're being disconnected. We're being reconnected. We're having all sorts of fun. But for the folks that are going to be listening to us on Radio Xenu later, none of this is going to matter to you. So thank you. Trying to get it into gear. Dr. David Magnano was supposed to be our guest here for the first 30 minutes, but he's nowhere to be found. Let's see if we can call him on the traditional telephone, as they say. And, hell, maybe at some point we'll just talk about the latest. And we need to have a, we need to start a thing called the Wife Beater Update. We'll start that here, where we update everybody on everybody's favorite domestic wife beater, Burgess Jovan wife beater. The man who still hasn't taken my challenge, by the way. Let's see if David Magnano is going to join us here in just a few moments. Dr. David Magnano. We'll get him in here. Maybe we won't. Maybe he's unavailable. It is 1 o'clock Central Standard Time on a Saturday. He might not be available.
Hi, this is Dr. David Magnano, and thank you for calling.
And apparently, there he is once again. The answer is no to David Magnano. Alex Fox is going to join us at 1:30 Central Standard Time. We have 2 band interviews at the top of the second hour. Black Suede is going to join us. Supposedly. That's what's being advertised, because that's what I was told.
Are they coming in soon?
Cosmic Wool. Oh yeah, I gotta turn on the mic. That would help. Gotta turn on some mics. Let's find some mics. Let's get over. Let's have some sunshine, happy fun with JBird Wells. She's with us today, by the way.
What's that?
The big star stage and screen, JBird Wells.
Who's on International Movie Database?
Who's on internet? You're very proud of that, by the way. Well, at least you're not a wife beater. That's good. Maybe she could be a wife beater for being on International Movie Database. I don't know. But,
only if I act in a role.
Act in a role. There you go. Now, of course, let's see. Let's do this. Let's try this. Let's see. I got a disturbing message here. So let's see what this says. Tanya Tate.
Who's that?
Tanya Tate doesn't say anything. That's good. That's good. We don't want Tanya Tate to say anything, especially on this day. Especially since Alex Fox is going to be on here in a few. We don't want any messages from Tanya. Tanya is Alex's press person, so I don't want any messages from her, because if I get messages from her, it's going to say, oh, she had some difficulty and she can't do the show. That is what I don't want any of those type of messages. Now, trying to get the record there on the old Ustream, but we may Facebook Live. I don't know. Probably won't do that till the second hour when we have Black Suede, the big star station screen.
In the building. In the building,
as they say. Michael Nagy, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I've had 6 months to figure it out. That's one thing. He's trying to con me
into doing what?
Into going into a steampunk goth
I want to go
show in Lawrence.
I want to go.
And I'm like, well, how much is it to get in? Well, $10. And I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna cough up $10 for Steampunk.
Oh, but that would.
I don't know if you would cough up $10 for Steampunk, and I know Brittany won't cough up $10 for Steampunk.
I have a Steampunk dress.
You have a Steampunk dress. Well, maybe we'll. I don't know. Maybe we'll end up at Steampunk. I don't know. Who knows? I do know that I cannot wait to unleash JBird Wells and her Catwoman outfit on New Year's Eve. I don't care where we're at. It can be with rappers, it can be with steampunk people, I don't care. I don't really care. The Mike Game and the...
Just as long as Jeff Rose...
Just as long as Mike Game's still alive by New Year's Eve.
Well...
And of course, Michael wants to take bets on will Mike Game make it through 2018. And... the answer is yes, because Mike Game, the only way that Mike Game will ever be out of the business is when he decides to be out of the business. I remember when Mike Game told me he had cancer. He's like, oh, I got cancer, dog. And I said, too bad for cancer. Like, cancer's going to take a loss on this one. Because the old line used to be, well, once you got cancer, you need to start digging your grave. I'm like, well, don't know.
There's ways of beating it.
There's ways of beating it, obviously.
But getting drunk all the time is not one.
But getting drunk all the time. Well, as I've said on a couple of occasions, I believe, and see, this is where a lot of weird talk and a lot of weird spiritual talk comes out of me. But
you spiritual?
I always believed that whether it's God, the universe, whatever, they give you this, as Matt Hardy would say, this vessel, and you're supposed to do things with it. And if you don't, well, I think it's just a case of when he got cancer. I think God or Jesus or the universe or whoever decided, okay, you're not doing anything with this. I guess we're taking it back. So that's kind of my downer moment today. That's just what I believe, because this guy has pumped more drugs and done more shenanigans with his body than I've ever seen. My God, how is he still alive? But you know what's funny is we're going to talk to David Magnano about germs and diseases and things. So it's kind of like we're having a segment without him being here. But
germs and diseases. Oh, I could give you a mouthful.
You know what I think is funny is was it Nagy? Maybe it was Mike. It was one of the two. I think it was Nagy. He calls me up one day and he's like, "Have you ever been out to Jay's house?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "She's got all these motions and potions and craziness at her house, and she doesn't believe in doctors. She believes in curing everything on her own, man." And I'm like, "What's wrong with that?" And he's like, "Well, she just doesn't believe in doctors, man." And I'll tell you,
there's a time and a place for
there
them.
is a time and a place for them. And one of the things that I have always, it's just because I read the internet. That's the problem. But I've always believed that if the pharmaceutical industry can get you involved in their crap, they will. Mm-hmm. And I went...
And you don't just need one pill, you need another pill,
yes,
and another,
yes,
and another,
yes,
and another.
Yes, because I went to... it's the strangest thing in the world. I went to have a physical. Every year, at some point, I always go when I get a physical. So I go get a physical, and I go down to this doctor in Wichita, and we do this physical thing. And by the time we're done with this physical, they have found all sorts of amazing things that we've got to get treated right now. Uh-huh. And I'm like, I survived for a year before I showed up here. And now all of a sudden I've got a heart condition. I've got bronchitis. I've got all these amazing things.
But instead of eating healthier, you need to eat a lot of poison.
Well, they want me... Well, and this is what I always think is so fun about these folks. They have... not really pharmaceutical people, but doctors and things, they don't understand. When I walk into a room and I talk to a doctor, they look at me and they go, "Well, he's kind of a bigger guy, so you must smoke." No, don't smoke. And they're like, "Well, you're kind of a bigger guy. Well, you need to eat more fruits and vegetables." I got news for you. If you've ever been grocery shopping with me, I can't eat any more fruits and vegetables than I already eat. I'm starting to experiment with other fruits and vegetables that I have never eaten before, just because I'm like, they say eat more fruits and vegetables. I've never had a radish before. I guess we'll figure out what radishes taste like. And it's like, okay, so then that doesn't work. So then they're like, "Well, you need to work out more." And I'm like, "Well, let's see. I lift weights 3 times a week. I do cardio for 25 to 50 minutes a week. I go to boxing and kickboxing and jiu-jitsu class. There's sometimes that I do so much physical activity that I can't sleep."
TMI.
So that's not the problem. So then it's like, well, you gotta stop drinking alcohol. It's like, I don't drink alcohol. So it's like, oh, they don't have anything to say. So then it turns into, well, you've got bronchitis. Okay, I've got bronchitis. How long have I had bronchitis? Well, you've had bronchitis for a while. Okay, well, I have a bronchitis, and I've been doing all sorts of physical things, And nothing's happened. Okay, then there was, well, you got a heart condition. Oh, I got a heart condition. What? When did this happen? Well, then it was, oh, it's a silent killer. Yeah, it's so silent. I went an entire year and a half. So, you know, physicians really don't like it when I walk in because then they're like, well, you need this and you need that and you need this other thing. And so, being the good little, you know, good little concerned citizen that I was, I went and I got these, you know, I got these, you know, prescriptions filled and everything, and I had an allergic reaction to them and couldn't swallow and couldn't eat for 3 days. So I thought, well, what have I done the last couple days that would have changed? Oh yeah, I started taking all that crap they prescribed. So I immediately stopped taking that and I was fine. So, you know, the
one pill fits all, you know?
Of course, the pharmaceutical industry, they absolutely, and I get it. They want everybody to be
hooked on
this stuff. That's like, and I'm sure, and who knows, I might get in trouble for this. Who knows? Who cares at this stage of the game? But one of the things that is slightly, it's not really funny. It's just kind of an interesting part of this conversation. Is Brittany's mother, lovely mother. Everybody in that house is on a pill. The 2 little boys are on a pill. The husband's on a pill. I think the younger sister's on a pill. They're trying to get Crystal put on a bunch of pills, and Brittany's like, she don't need to be on pills. Sorry. And it's like, why does everybody got to be on pharmaceuticals? And it's not just at the Baxter house or at the Pritchard house. It's everywhere. Everybody's got to be on pills.
Because you can't live without the pharmaceuticals.
Apparently you can't live without the pharmaceuticals and giving them some cash. So here's my deal. Until something happens to where I really have to take pharmaceuticals, and the one thing that I think is funny, and of course, because this gets into all sorts of things with, you know, the United States and everything. They the one thing that I would really like to be on, nobody will let me have steroids. I want to be on testosterone and all sorts of crazy things because I want to be bigger than a house, and I want to be able to hit people so hard that I put a hole in their head. But they won't do that because, as I've said on many occasions, much like whenever people talk about, I think it'd be funny to get Jiggy drunk. My answer is always, we don't need a Godzilla versus Tokyo situation. Because they often say that if you're angry or a prick, getting on steroids or getting on alcohol will magnify that. Okay, we don't need to do any of that because I'm already a prick. I'm already angry. We don't need to do none of that. We don't need any of that.
Taking steroids and I felt like I was like an alien was controlling my body.
Well, there was one time that they prescribed steroids to my mom, and she said that she got on these things, and her heart just raced and raced and raced and raced, and she's like, I got to stop taking this shit. And so she stopped taking it, and that was the end of it. But, you know,
they put my son on steroids during chemo, and that was fun.
See that right there? It's like, no. We're not.
Try putting a 3-year-old on steroids and try to get through the night.
I remember when and this was just kind of starting in the world of pharmaceuticals and getting people on the world in pharmaceuticals. I remember when I was in kindergarten and they started putting everybody on Ritalin.
Which the military do not accept people on Ritalin.
And they said, everybody's got to get on it and everything. And my mom's like, I'm not doing it because he doesn't need it. And everybody and their brother was Ritalin. That was one of the reasons, and we're gonna give more of our friends and family out there in the lovely world of the internets. more ammunition and more fuel for their blog posts and everything else. That was one of the reasons why I was held back in kindergarten, or when I was held back in first grade and I had to repeat first grade over, is because one of the things was that they wouldn't put me on Ritalin.
That was the only reason?
Well, that, and they tried to hold me back in kindergarten, and my mom just pushed, so they pushed me into first grade. Well, then my first grade teacher just never gave me any work to do. So I would come home and I have all these drawings and all these things, and my mom's like, "Where's the homework?" And I'm like, "Don't know." And then finally one day she shows up at the school and she's like, and then he's like, "Well, his grades are just horrible." And she's like, "Well, yeah, because she never gave him any work to do." Well, wasn't on the Ritalin, and my grades suck, so, well, we got to hold you back. And so then I did first grade over, and they gave me work and did all the stuff. Still didn't do the Ritalin thing, and then they moved me on to second grade. So it's a weird world we all live in.
That's like those parents that complain that their kids are like hyper and everything, and they put pop in the kids' bottles, and you wonder why they have like hyper issues and blood sugar problems and. Here, let's put them on pills because I didn't...
Put them on the pills, baby.
...give you water to drink instead of pop.
By the way, speaking of putting them on pills, which I don't think she's on pills.
I'm not on pills.
No, not you. Alex Fox is supposed to be with us here in a few. She's not on pills. I'll ask her first thing out of the gate. Are you on pills? But what would be funny is if she would like, yeah, I'm high as right now.
I've had rappers tell me that they're jealous because I can pass a background check.
Oh, good. All the rappers. I love the rap world. These guys are fantastic. So we're speaking of rappers. Black Suede is supposed to join us at the 2 p.m. or 2:15. Meme Freak is supposed to join us in the third and final hour of this broadcast for the year of 2017. Meme Freak is a guy who...
Can I find him on Facebook?
You can find him on Facebook. Well, I don't know if you can find him on Facebook. Find him on Twitter, though. He's a porn guy.
Oh.
And he's a porn producer.
My husband said that I get excited when we talk to porn stars.
Meme Freak. Well, Meme Freak... was supposed to be... I have been trying to get that guy on this show for... I don't know, 2-3 years. And one of the problems that we've had is that at first, his... he was working with a woman who didn't like me too well in the porn industry.
Women don't like you?
She has since...
changed her mind?
Well...
I'm not finding her. Him.
I guess change... I guess given me another chance. It's... At some point we'll have her on this show, I'm sure, and she'll tell that story. But and that's... You know, it just happens that way. Well, what is this? We're getting a... Oh, yes. Let's see. Let's try David Magnano again. Let's call him and see
he on
what
Facebook?
the hell's going on here. Dr. David Magnano. I don't know. He might be on Facebook. He might be on... Hold the Facebook.
David.
Oh, by the way, Johnny Kim is going to do... Blacklight Bingo at the Muse Ballroom in Salina.
Blacklight Bingo?
I don't know what you do with Blacklight Bingo, but apparently he's doing it. Maybe I'll have to show up and play some Blacklight Bingo, which Johnny and I get along now, so that it doesn't quite work out well for when I go, "Oh, Johnny Kim." He's like, "Oh, Ziggy." Calls me Ziggy.
Is David Magnano, is he like a chiropractic physician?
Hi, this is Dr. David Magnano, and thank you for calling.
Dr. David Magnano. Let's do this. David Magnano was supposed to join us this afternoon. He is a 5 ways to speed up your Slowpoke metabolism. David Magnano. He is naturessources.com. David Magnano, DC. He's a health educator. He's a chiropractic physician with more than 30 years of clinical practice. He's a highly popular speaker. He's designed and presented hundreds of wellness workshops for both patients and practitioners.
I want to talk to him.
He is a national spokesperson for Nature Sources LLC, which manufactures plant-based absorb-aid digestive enzymes and distributors of Clorox Candida care herbal supplements.
Sweet.
So that was supposed to be him today, but
Nature Sources?
Naturesources.com. Da-da-da! Naturesources.com. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means to play us out, as Bill O'Reilly would say. You've been in television for how many years, and you still don't know what that means? Okay. That's just always my Bill O'Reilly thing. I'm like, really? You've been involved in television. Alexis Fox.
Oh, he's got something to do with Candida care.
That's it, Candida.
That's what I thought you said.
Candida. Or I could say Canada.
No, it was Candida.
Canada.
For those of you who don't know, Candida is a systemic yeast infection. It's yeast throughout your body.
So, there's that. We're coming up on Alex Fox or Alexis Fox. I think it's Alexis. Alexis Fox. She is a Pennsylvania native. She launched her career in 2010 and has quickly become one of the industry's top stars. She has a blonde bombshell who has been shooting for the company Bang Bros, which of course is the guys who created the famous Bang Bus. And let's see. She entered the world of adult entertainment. Served 3.5 years in the Air Force. Holy crap.
Cool.
After leaving the military, she tried her hand at other professions, including some time as a paralegal. Let's see. She describes herself as a tomboy in her youth, but the green-eyed beauty blossomed while she was already a full C-cup. She treated herself to a breast implant and bought herself a jaw-dropping 32 triple D size. While the majority of her work consists of straightforward scenes, she also demonstrated her talents as an actress in the 2016 The Preacher's Daughter from Wicked Pictures.
Oh, wow.
She earned critical acclaim as she showed her versatility and acting ability. And she is an award winner. She has won the AVN and XBiz Best Supporting Actress. Or no, she's been nominated. She hasn't won nothing. Her incredible body of work landed her as a contender in the MILF Award categories at AVN, Night Moves, XBiz, and XRCO, and the Spank Bank Awards, which I did not know existed. As a top star, Alexis has already proven that she has the abilities, looks, and drive that is required. She is changing the game and looking to elevate her brand and identity and status even higher. Twitter.com/ALEXISFAWX. She's also done some stuff for Cam Soda, which Cam Soda was one of the people who at the last Avian Awards shows last year at the Expo, they had these giant plasma screens that were showing porn, and the Hard Rock people came by and told them they had to turn them off because they are a family-friendly hotel.
Nice.
Hopefully, this is the last year that they are at the Hard Rock, because they have the contract that AVN has signed ends this year with the Hard Rock. So I'm hoping they go back to the Venetian, which I've heard the Venetian was like, if you want to talk hell on earth, it's the Juggalos without all the soda, basically. Oh, I heard a rumor that the Juggalos are going to. They have had so much backlash from doing these events various places that they are thinking about just renting a cruise ship and throwing the gathering of the Juggalos on a cruise ship.
Yeah, the staff is going to handle that.
So, poor staff of whatever cruise line they decide to go with.
I'll make sure not to book my cruise the same time.
I'm going cruising on a cruise ship with a Juggalo.
Yep.
I'll have to say that old Britannia, she's like, I want nothing to do with the Juggalos. I'm not. It's like, wow. She is like, oh my God, I'm not going anywhere near the Juggalos. I'm like, wow, really? That's bad when you don't want to have anything to do with the Juggalos. But
I'm a bad girl.
And then, well, we're gonna find out on New Year's Eve with the Catwoman
Not
outfit.
that bad of a girl.
That is going to be. I'll tell you, by the end of the night, you're gonna have so many of these drunk rappers and drunk patrons at these bars. Can I get a photo with you? And you'll be like, oh, it's $5. Okay. It's just gonna be fantastic. David Magnano, I guess we'll try to get him back. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to go find Alex or Alexis. However you pronounce her name, we'll figure it out. I'll make sure to have a proper pronunciation before we get her on the air.
That would be good.
And,
messing up guys' names one thing. Messing up a girl's name, no.
Yes. So we will do that. And possibly Michael Nagy is going to join us, maybe. And Black Suede will be with us in the next hour. So. And also, we might have a rapper from Wichita who got a hold of me and said, I'm coming to the show. And I'm like, well, either somebody's going to assassinate me or I must have booked him and forgot. So we'll figure it out. We've got more coming up.
Available for the first time, a special instructional series that will teach you to play mouth guitar. You never learned to play a musical instrument.